think I am ready because, hey y'all, welcome to your Cosmic Mama podcast. I'm your hostess, Andye Murphy, and it's been a minute, or not, because time kind of stopped working. So I've got a few things that I'm really hoping to cover today, a few pieces of, well, celebration. Because if you're here in our country, it is Thanksgiving. It is this day that is a little tricky and complicated for Americans, but it's a day of giving thanks. And I think as we try to practice as more conscious individuals, we come into it with gratitude, with a looking back. As we begin to close out the year, it is where I tend to go anyway, is reflecting upon what has been. So we're calling this episode, ready for it? The Ego Death of Rock and Roll Shaman. Could be the actual death of Rock and Roll Shaman, because that's certainly how it's gone as well, but I want to reflect and I want to celebrate and I want to bring us into the new as we're participating, and I want to talk about how time is dissolving. So shall we? Shall we do what we do in here? Light a bowl, light a joint, light a candle, light something that brings you warmth, igniting those inner fires from within as we move into your Cosmic Mama podcast. I'll see you inside. Oh, hey. Yeah, did that change anything at all? It didn't. But what we like to do each time that we gather here is invoke the sacred. Invoke you, invoke me, and bring us into a place that is outside of time and space. Inviting us into the places where we can always access something deeper and bigger. So we're going to go ahead and open up some sacred space. If you'd like to close your eyes, turning all eyes in, coming into breath, coming into your own stillness. As I call upon the spirit that is Cosmic Mama to be a vessel, to be a container, to be a place of communion and celebration today. As we greet you exactly where you are, knowing it is just right and sweet and perfect and beautiful and harmonious. Inviting us into the perfection that is always, the ecstasy that is true. That you may receive something today in here. It's just for you. Wiggling your feet down into the center of the earth and allowing your crown, your head, to reach into the cosmos. Remembering how majestic and grand you are. Remembering that this human experience, oh shit y'all, ready to do this? This human fucking experience, huh? That we can take so seriously at times. So, well, we're not gonna. But I want to just kind of start. Well, I don't know where I want to start. So, just know today is going to be reprocessing a wee little bit because I need to. Because, where I am now in time and space, well, it's November, almost December 2023. And in November of 2022, I was asked to set down Rock and Roll Shaman. Felt like the right thing to do. I don't do anything that is very well planned. I'm kind of do it. I set it down. I set her down. By February, I think someone else was using the name, and I was like, oh shit, okay. Maybe it wasn't February, maybe it was a little later in the year, but it's been an interesting ride because this birthing of Andye Murphy, this creation of Andye Murphy, well, that's been a journey in and of itself. And I'm not sure where I want to go. I'm not sure where I want to start. Because I think I recognize with the Cosmic Mama podcast, well, it's not really about me. It's really for you. It's really for me. It's really an opportunity to bring something else through, to give witness to what is and what was. So maybe let's just start by celebrating Rock and Roll Shaman and all that she did, because, well, she was pretty fucking prolific. And in watching what I would say my business completely dissolve, these places of surrender, fuck, are you in them too? I'm sure you are. Because the active process right now of surrendering is like, let go, let go, let go. Oh, let go some more, let go some more. So I keep thinking that I've figured out how to surrender. No, no. It feels so much more comprehensive than I want it to, that fucking place of surrendering. And let go some more. And no, let go some more. So we can celebrate that a little bit and again, not take it too seriously, because we're in the new. And we have come here, you have come here, you have chosen to take on this glorious body that is you in order to participate in creating a new reality. Cool. And we can say that, and it goes a little fucking weird, and it can certainly go new age. I don't want to go new age. I'm going to come from the Egyptian mysteries. I'm going to go from something older and ancienter that lives through me. Okay, let's start there. Let's talk about this dissolving of time. Let's talk about Thoth. I don't know that I've gotten to share that here, and I might have lots of ums because I also haven't sat here. Well, I have never sat here. Because right now, the room that I'm in, well, it's the new, and it's the old. It's this coming together of both aspects of my offices, an office that I let go of after 9 years. So I'm sitting in a chair that's never been here. I'm sitting in a computer that is new. New. And what do we let go of from the old? What do we hold on to from the old when we're being asked to participate in the new? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. So let's let Thoth have his say, shall we? I do have notes because that just helps me organize a little bit. You see, I'm doing an impeccable job of that, right? Thoth. So the Akashic reality that Thoth has created has expired, and that's the nicest language that I have on things. Rather than it being dead or dying or broken, it's none of those things. It's just expired. It has an expiration date. Akashic reality, as created by Thoth, in order to participate in one era of time space, we're done. Expired. Don't need to do that anymore. So the new era that we are moving into, well, hey, we don't know how. We don't know how. Why would we? Why should we? It hasn't been done before. We don't know how. And it's okay, because this is what you were born here to do. Thoth created time in order to divide space so that we could comprehend. Thoth, mental plane. The Akashic, mental plane. The reality that we've been living in, it's one that you needed mental and mind in order to navigate. Well, expiring. Don't need so much to understand anything anymore, because now we're moving into this era of heart. And in this era of heart, being open-hearted, being of one soul, recognizing in this expansion of consciousness that nothing is divided, because even a divided time, even a divided space doesn't work anymore. So the way that you might be experiencing this, well, I don't know, what the fuck, you tell me how you've been experiencing it, because it's all dissolving, or it's glitching, or we're trying to hold on to things that can't be held on to. And so the ego death of it, the actual death and expiration of it, can be a lot harder, because we think that that matters, or we invested lots of time, or we were told that was how it was supposed to be. So this new era that is of the heart, this new era that we will navigate through throat, through speaking, through truth, through voice, through the creation, of a very new world. Well, it's going to be one that rises up from the descended human who is ascending. Shit, did we go there? I guess we went there. Cool, I'll let them go there. Light language is what I do in order to hear. Sometimes it's how I download, it's how I transmit. In order to ascend, you must descend. You must be a human who is full of human, who understands the delights of this life, who celebrates the earth and Gaia and everything in it. We aren't just going to leave these bodies and go somewhere else. Gross. No, it's about being right here. It's about creating heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. Oh my gosh. Can we go there? Heaven on earth. So much of what's going on with this creation of heaven on earth is we think we have an idea, right? Mental again, of what it should be. What I have experienced for myself is I'm working on the worthiness of living in heaven on earth. I kind of know what wants to be created. I've had long visions of what's coming in, of knowing that Akashic of my own reality. I'm working on worthiness right now. Deservingness, as Emily Fletcher said. And a lot of this podcast did come up from Emily Fletcher and Robert Edward Grant's conversation recently that I also resisted. Damn, I was a dick. I was a total dick. I'm like, no, 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 no. And then once I got there, I was like, fuck. I haven't even finished because there was so much that spoke to me. So much that was just what I needed. And part of it was Emily talking about letting go of her things in 2020. I didn't let go of my things in 2020. I fought for Rock and Roll Shaman. I fought for this business that I have created. I fought for this thing that I've invested in and that I've served as. And so I knew a year ago that in letting go of the name, I was not hiding behind anything anymore. Rock and Roll Shaman served me really well, so let's get into how she did, and then we might get back to that Thoth dissolving of time piece as we're creating the new and participating in heaven on earth. Yeah, like that? Rock and Roll Shaman. Oh, sweet love. Well, she supported my family for a long time. What a cool thing to have this very soulful expression that there isn't really a working business model for how to do, that supported my family, that became a means of stability and support until it didn't. In 2012, well, we won Artist of the Year in Denver by sharing this experience that to me still is very artful. This is not a plan. This doesn't have a script to it. In order to move people from one experience of themselves to another, that is art. Performing Artist of the Year? Oh yeah, we fucking did that. The Shamanic Apprenticeship we ran for 3 rounds. Teaching healers how to step into more of themselves, how to serve through earth-based medicines. The term shaman is ever evolving and a little tricky at times, so I'm really grateful that I was able to convey some of those teachings to people. It was a process of knowing self, of listening to spirit, of allying and befriending the invisible energies. I still think that's supremely important. In 2019, that all shifted for me a little bit. I was able to teach people how to do tarot. I was able to teach people how to do a shamanic journey, how to gain skills for themselves. Because I'm so not interested in what's going on outside, I'm so much more interested in our inner mysteries, in the medicine that we gain through our lived experiences. Supremely important. I didn't even know back then that that's kind of what I was aiming for. The Shamanic Apprentice ran through 2020, so would have started 2018, 2019, 2020. And that was all gifted to me by mushrooms. I went into a fucking mushroom ceremony and like came out with a blueprint of like, here's how, please go. It took me about a year. So it might have been 2017, 2018. It took me about a year to be able to implement and to bring that into form in a way that I was proud of. And I got to partner and know and love and guide some beautiful fucking healers into more of their medicine. How cool. Akashic Records has always been where I show up, the Akashic reality. Thank you, Ashleen, the Akashic. We may have an entire different podcast on that. The Akashic reality, which is what we're in because we're becoming the gods now. I initiated over 300 people in reading their Akashic Records. It's pretty fucking cool. To be able to access these things for ourselves, to be able to access the depth of truth and knowingness for self. In those years as Rock and Roll Shaman, 13,000 readings. It's a lot. 13,000 souls. Never saw one that was the same. Never had a soul story or a soul history that was the same of anyone else's. Always unique, always beautiful, always individual. The perfection of everyone. Well, thanks. And also Shisahat, right? Shisahat came in probably prior to Rock and Roll Shaman, but Shisahat for me still has taught me so much about the beauty of humans, about the beauty of being human, about the individuality of each soul and the journey that we take and why we're here and the importance of your part in it. Fucking miraculous to watch, to listen, to learn. From 2016 to 2018, 2019, I wrote over 40 articles over at Gaia. The opportunities that Rock and Roll Shaman got to participate in are miraculous. And at that point in time, we were trying to figure out how to make a brand. Don't know that I want to be a brand anymore. Don't know that I ever wanted to be a brand, but what I can definitely say is my friend Rachel Jensen, who helped me birth so much of what became Rock and Roll Shaman. Yelp. Boy, I could not have done this without Yelp. Holy shit, y'all. At that point in time, Yelp catapulted me into things. And there was a lot of hustle. There was so much hustle of trying to get my name out there, trying to convince people what I do is real. It certainly makes me an elder within the community, as others have now come up, and it's so much easier to, we've got beautiful Courtney Smith over there. I don't know that Courtney's last name is still Smith, but Courtney, who is doing sound baths, and that is how she makes a living, is doing fucking sound baths. Like, wow! The beauty that we live in right now, that so many people can thrive using their gifts and their magic, was not the same for me as I was getting started 2010, 2011. There was hustle. And there was me doing readings on First Friday on street corners for a long time. There was hustle. And that was very much, the go get it girl culture, the girl boss culture that fucking burnt me out. Because I was trying to keep up with something that doesn't have a model and doesn't have a pace. The retreats. Can we talk about the retreats of Rock and Roll Shaman? Well, I guess Rock and Roll Shaman probably only got to do one retreat. Or didn't. Rory and I had a retreat planned in 2020 that was going to be in Maui. 2020 happened. We lost a bunch of money, and that didn't get to happen. That dream died. So these places that I've wanted to go and tried to go and gotten to go, what a gift. None of it a failure, all of it learning so that we can get even cleaner. So let's get to retreats, shall we? We did a retreat in Baja in April of 2023. That retreat, well, it had lots of lessons and it had lots of love. And we will just leave that one there. Lots of lessons, and those lessons were not all that comfortable. However, this is where things got pretty interesting. On the trip back from Baja, I ended up on a plane, and as we're about thanks. I'm also in the sky when I'm not supposed to be in the sky, and that was during that second eclipse. Holy shit. That eclipse portal that was April 2023. I'm in the skies. Not supposed to be in the skies. Supposed to be home by that point in time. And as we're in the sky, we're about 20 minutes beginning to land in Denver, and they're like, the winds are too big. We cannot land in Denver. What? Huh? Winds are too big. Okay. So they divert our plane and we land in Phoenix, emergency landing in Phoenix because of the winds. And we have to get off the plane. We have to go through customs. We have to recheck our bags. We have to get on another plane. We have to go through all of it again. And as I'm doing this, there's this woman behind me, and I've got a big cart because I brought all my shit to Baja. I brought all my shit to the retreat, as I will probably do for every retreat, because oh my gosh, I might want this, I might want this, I might want this. Cancer. Be so much easier if we could teleport, y'all. Let's be real. I have a big cart and I'm pushing something, and there's this woman who has a big 6-foot fucking box. And I'm like, and so I ask her at one point in time if I can carry her things for her. And it began a conversation that literally has changed my life. So that's Elizabeth. Elizabeth, who I come to find out as she and I began talking, her business, her focus is teaching men how to touch women. Huh. So we recognized that we had to land so that we could meet. We recognize that I was her blessing that day. She was my blessing that day, because what's been coming in for me, heal the men, serve the planet. Heal the men, serve the planet. Serve the men, heal the planet. Whichever way you want to go, it is this energy of the divine masculine that I'm built to serve. I've been shy about it, because as a priestess who has been in celibacy for 3 years, as a priestess who has served so many priestesses, so many women, and very few men, to know that this calling inside of me, thank you, Libra rising, hello, I fucking love the masculine. I love our men. I have never hated men. I have never been tremendously abused by men, emotionally abused in my last relationship. I've never hated the patriarchy. I've never seen all men as toxic. I've never seen men as dangerous. I see men in their light and as allies. And what I've come even more to embrace as I've been in my celibacy and my priestesshood is that just as the women are rising, so too are the men. And as we move into the spaces where the divine masculine and the sacred feminine work together, then we're creating the divine child energy. The divine child, which is the new. This new force that comes together from two awakened beings consciously coming together in coupleship. Cool. And up until very recently, just an idea, just a theory, and not because it's it's soulful knowing. It's an inner knowing of what I was called here to do, right? I mean, fucking Hathor. You see Hathor behind me? I'm sex priestess. I have trained for lifetimes to be here. And I thought it was in one way as the rock and roll shaman, and as it was revealed to me during that emergency landing, the Phoenix, hello, in the fires of an eclipse portal, hello, all of it became very clear. And as Elizabeth and I talked on that plane, and as we drank champagne, and as we infused every fucking bubble with what our desires were, I knew what I wanted to do. That was April. And the lessons of that retreat took some time to heal from. Because I'm sensitive. Because I'm so fucking sensitive. And heartbreak is never easy. And the love that came out of it was fucking massive. But to have both of these things happening at the same time, and I think that's how I've continued to experience reality. It's the Ouroboros, right? But it's the snake eating the tail. Like, I'm in the eating of the tail. Like, the mouth and the tail are in the same fucking place. I'm not further along in this cycle. It seems like everything is just breaking and birthing at the same time, because time is done. So yes, we're in the new. How else are we going to participate in this new? Office was still open by that point in time. But I didn't know how to bring myself into Healing Divine Masculine. So I played with lots of names. The Men Matter was the first one that I played with. Empowered Emperors was the other one that I played with. I spelled emperors wrong because this Gen X kid, I buy lots of websites to play with, because to me, that's how I create within the container. I buy the domain and then I create within the container. So on 6/6, I launched Healing Divine Masculine because nobody had that fucking name. And I was like, oh my God, what? Nobody had the name. I want that name. I want to heal the daddies. I want to heal the kings. And not so much heal them, because I don't work any longer from a broken model of reality. I work from our perfection. I participate in my own perfection. There's nothing broken. There's nothing that needs to be healed. And so that's even challenging as a healer, as our language is changing, as our consciousness is changing. How do we want to show up? And when I say that I want to participate with the masculine in bringing them more fully online, I was really scared I was going to isolate people. So I did what I called a soft launch on 6/6. And 6, as you might know, well, certainly within the Egyptian, that 6 energy is the masculine and feminine coming together. It's the forces of love that come together to create something new. Would be the green seal for the Egyptians, for any of y'all who are paying attention. Let me just see if there's anything else here in my notes. And I think we're away from notes now. Ready? I think we're fucking away from notes. Away from notes. So 6/6, I had some girlfriends in town because this summer I was also really blessed to meet many of my priestesses in the flesh for the first time. People who I've been working with for 3 years online that I got to hug, and I got to smoke weed with, and I got to hang out in my backyard with. Because letting go of Rock and Roll Shaman. Thanks. There's another big piece in there. Rock and Roll Shaman obviously was let go of last November, October, November. But you don't really know what that means. Don't really know how to set it down. So when I got back from Baja in April, going into May and June, I was invited, when I say by spirit, like, I think it's my highest self at this point in time. I don't think that it's spirits outside of me. I don't think that it's spirit guides outside of me. I think they're all aspects of me that sometimes will personify a little bit different so that I don't become too schizophrenic and we don't crack in here. You ever have that experience? All divine is divine you. All spirit is higher aspects of you. So I was asked, encouraged, to dissolve the Akashic Records of my birth name and to create myself of myself. And I would sit outside every day. I had prayers that I would do. I would activate my Jed because, oh my God, y'all, activating the Jed, that's something that I also discovered through the mystery. It wasn't something that it may have been taught that way in the past, but as we continue to go through the mystery, well, the mystery teaches us and we teach the mystery, and the mystery evolves through us. So Jedi training that I did, I guess that would have been in June as well. I was doing Jedi training because I found the blessing of what happened when I would set my Jed every day. Cool. So I began this dissolving of who I was born as, because she had lots of stories put on her. She had lots of projections put on her. And not that I let her carry all of the wounds. I tried to clean up a lot of those wounds as we birthed Andye Murphy. Because you may have a perception of Andye Murphy that I'm like, fuck, what? I wanted to be all of that. And I thought of that Tony Robbins theory of like, Tony Robbins is a creation. He created Tony Robbins. I'm like, I'm going to do the same thing with Andye Murphy. So as I was in that process of dissolving, creating, anchoring to, breathing in, well, then more things in my reality had to keep dissolving and going away. So it became clear that the office that Robin and I shared for 9 years needed to go. It was finally time. We actually extended in 2022. It was supposed to expire 2022. We kept fighting for it because I thought I needed a place to serve. Might still, don't have one now. Yeah, Trying to remember how I got there. Well, you know, when you're only seeing 2 clients a week in that office, you don't really need an office. And the sanctuary that it held for us, it was temple space. It was immaculate. If you got to be there, you knew. And the celebration of closing that space, that would have been October of 23, was really magnificent. Those of you who came to sit with me and share your stories, those of you who got to participate in healing circles and seances. We did so many things there over those 9 years. So Rock and Roll Shaman is done. The office is done. Andye Murphy will be a constant work in progress, a creation, a beingness that I recognize now I serve through joy. I have a sticker here on my computer. The joy of service. This is what I show up for. The joy of service. And I think for so long that service was how it was supposed to look. Right, if we go back to the early days where, you know, we're watching Marie Forleo's B School and, oh God, was it the Big Beautiful Book Plan, right? They were telling us how to do things, and I tried every way how. I tried to create classes and models that were what I thought you wanted. They worked for a while until they didn't. So it's a curious place that I sit in now that I know that I serve through joy. I know that I'm here participating in heaven on earth. And I don't know how the fuck that looks. Why should I? And I can let myself off the hook for that. This October 2023, hey, Danielle Wilkinson and I hosted the Wild Awakening Retreat. Oh, shit, y'all. Oh, God, it was so good. It was so good. In that way of Danielle at the very end, after everybody had left and it was just her and I and Michael Maddie, she said to me, she's like, it was perfection. She's like, I didn't want to use that word before, but there was not only the joy of service, there was the ease of self. We didn't have a hard outline for what we were going to do and what you were going to gain and what we were going to do each day. We're instead very much in service as priestess. And those lessons of yin, I think we can talk about that too. Well, the yin, right? In order to serve the masculine, I get to be more feminine. And this is not about gendering things. This is just about energies, which is why yin and yang often makes more sense. In that place of yin, in that place of deep surrender, Shi Sahat invited me just a couple of years ago to begin meditating into the void. I hadn't meditated up until that point. I had done shamanic journeys. My little ADD brain was like, boop, 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 boop. Yin, the place of stillness, that place of femininity, that place of receptivity, that when you are still, everything will come. That's not a fucking world that we live in. Got to get out there, got to do things, got to make things happen. How else is it going to happen? So it's very contrary to our nature. And I've recognized, for myself at least, my whole fucking nature is very yin. Are you kidding me? And for a long time in my family of origin, my yin was perceived as laziness. Not doing enough, not giving enough, not being enough, not trying hard enough. And as I dissolved the Akashic Records of my birth, there was a really fucking interesting experience where I just kind of sat in it. I'm like, holy fuck, like yin is my true nature. And every facet of my reality, of teaching, of family, of education, of school system, of business, of work, was forcing me to be yang. Doesn't work. It wasn't working for me. It did up until a point, until it didn't. So this reclamation, this recreation of me, very yin, very feminine. And I find that so much of my medicine, I think it always has been, but even more so now, I listen. I can be in the stillness and I can listen. And not everybody knows how to be in that stillness. Not everybody knows how to be in that presence. I do. I cherish it. It's pretty fucking cool. So the retreat that Danielle and I led, co-facilitated, played. I mean, we called it a play shop more than anything else. We're there to play. Play is our medicine. We serve through delight. We serve through pleasure. And there are so many other priestess sisters. Did I just say that? I totally did say priestess sisters. Layla Martin, Emily Fletcher, Blue, that are talking so much of this pleasure revolution that is very sexual in nature. Cool. I think there's lots of other ways of pleasure. Not that I don't enjoy sex, but that is not my path to claim at this point in time. The tantric, that's not something that is a lived, activated experience of wisdom in this body right now. I've been practicing, but it's not mine. So the pathways to pleasure for me, well, they're in joy, they're in childlike, they're in sweetness, they're in yin, they're in presence, they're in falling in fucking love with everything every day. That activation and participation in a cosmo-erotic universe doesn't have to be sexual. Kind of feels that way at times, in that energy of eros. So Danielle and I got to lead in a very new way. And it worked. Holy shit, it worked. Holy shit, it worked. The less hard I tried, the easier it was. The more myself I was, the better I was received. Not surprising, but also not a model that anyone has showed us or taught or encouraged, right? We have this great revolution and awakening that's going on of authenticity, of being yourself. Cool. And I think we've all done a really great fucking job. But how does being yourself work as a business model? Huh? What? Huh? What? Huh? I don't know. I don't know. So I'll be still. I'll radiate. I'll trust. I'll know. So I had my sacred love show up as well. My beloved, my sacred union. This idea that has, I think for a long time, been maybe even a fantasy. Because those of us who are living as priestess, we know that we have a sacred counterpart who is coming. We may even be working with him or her on the other realms. Like there's a knowingness and a preparation for and a waiting and a desire and a little bit of doubt, if I'm honest. What if we're all fucking delusional? Because hey, you don't get to be priestess. You don't get to be priestess without lots of lifetimes of being crazy. Got to sit through that and unravel that. I had a soulmate, very important to me, soulmate show up before my sacred beloved showed up. And I wanted, oh my God, I wanted that soulmate who I'd spent so many lifetimes with to be the one, to be the one, to be the one. He wasn't the one. And when I could even let go of that, oh my God, this being who I've spent so many fucking lifetimes with, I've got to let go of that. Sure do. Yep. Okay. All security, all comfort. Hang out in the know thing. Cool. And this remarkable man who was very patient in waiting for me, who blows my mind on the daily, who you'll get to meet probably in the next podcast, because from here, where do we go from here? Well, okay, great. So Sacred Love has shown up. I get to participate in that in a way that is also new. Holy shit. Experiences we've never had before. Yeah. Cool. And not letting it be a fantasy, but grounding it, right, in the practices that we have had. This priestess no longer celibate, duh. The practices that we have had of anchoring the expansion. I think we were really good with that as we went through the Egyptian mysteries. Last year, I got the Halls of Akasha ready. I feel like I wanted a place besides Patreon that I could have a really good library So I've got 6 classes that are free for you in the halls of Akasa. I've got 4 full-on fucking mystery schools that are available for you for different payment in the halls of Akasa. I created this thing a year ago. That'd be right. Maybe last January. January of 23. I wanted that to be a structure that could hold wherever it was that we were going, because at that point in time, I didn't know that everything was going to be dissolving so much. So I still don't know where it is that we're going. I know that my service is to my soul. I know that my service in this moment in time is very much to the nucleus of my family, to being mother, to being sacred beloved, to being me. Cool. And the next season, as I think is brewing here for Cosmic Mama, well, we're going to be getting into that divine masculine because it's necessary right now. Because we need to not only dissolve the ways that we perceive the masculine or even actively reject the masculine in order for us to come into union within. I think that's what I did for a lot of years. It was the union within that I was working on. It was my own inner masculine that I was healing and letting evolve. And I can feel the interplay inside of me of how my masculine supports and how my feminine serves. I'm not serving because she's trying, but there's a different dance. And if you haven't engaged with your own inner dynamic of that sacred union, I'm going to tell you right now, like, that's the only place you need to be looking. Please don't be looking outside for anything. Please don't. What you will find outside of you, if you have not done that work yet, is hard lessons. And maybe not hard, but that Venus retrograde that we went through this summer. Oh, shit. Value completely changed. Value. What do we value in this world? Do we value working hard? Not really. Do we value, well, there's lots. I think we're working on another retreat that's going to kind of be about our new values. Anchoring heaven on earth, they're going to need new values. We're going to need new systems. And I am, well, my own worthiness and my own value has changed quite a bit. What I thought I wanted and what I was trying so hard to get, not it. And now that Sacred Union has arrived, wow, it's changing everything for both of us. And now there's what I was told right away is like turn toward each other. And when you turn toward each other, there's a whole new energy and a whole new toroidal field that's created, because in that way 2 forces come together. He's done his work, I've done mine. 2 forces come together and it becomes something else. Cool. Thanks. I wasn't ready for him before, and he wasn't ready for me. And just in the sweetness of a little bit of sharing here, I think he waited for me since January to August, like 8 months, 9 months, from the time that we initially met to the time that we got together. And I did not have him on my radar. And it's okay, because I think in that too, like, that's even more fulfilling and satisfying. I didn't know. I mean, I knew, but I didn't know because I wasn't ready, because he wasn't ready, because there is this other timing that needed to come together. Right time, right space for it to align. Pretty fucking cool. So new values, new, heaven on earth, ego deaths over and over, being able to move into the yin. And I saw a mentor of mine who I trained with in 2005, 2006, Ann Drucker here in Boulder. And seeing her recently, getting to participate in a fucking cool ass Mayan ceremony. There's my words. Wow, y'all, that was amazing. And seeing my mentor, who I hadn't seen in about a decade, and her question to me is, what are you up to these days? And my answer was, I don't know. I don't have a fucking clue. And she celebrated that so heartily. No say, as we would say down in the lands of Maya. No say, no clue. I don't know. It was one of the tenets of the apprenticeship. I don't know. Because you don't know shit. Why should you? There's so much freedom that comes from not knowing, so much joy that comes from being in it, being honest in it, giving yourself permission to change. I don't know what's next. I know that I've missed being here. I know that it's been brewing for a while. I know that I show up when the energy is here and authentic, and not because I have to, not because of a social media calendar, not because of any of these things outside that over and over expire. My joy doesn't expire. My desire to be seen at times, my desire to talk, my desire to share waxes and it wanes, as it should. But I don't know. So I give you back the glory of not knowing. The freedom of being able to choose and ride the waves of your own joyous destiny in each moment and letting it change. And yeah, that's super fucking challenging, isn't it? Challenging to relationships, challenging to jobs, challenging to trying to fit into anybody else's idea of what the world should be. Yeah. So I'm grateful that I have powerful priestesses around me who are riding these dragon currents with me, that we get to be in a very new energy, that the only rightness of it is how it feels. Doesn't make any fucking sense. I still have the occasional client here and there, and sometimes they're like, but what does it mean? And I'm like, oh shit, y'all, meaning has expired. Nothing means anything. How does it feel? And in my work with the masculine, what I really enjoy is like, I teach men how to feel. I'm very good at that. I teach men how to be in their own stillness and how to resource from their own joy. I teach men how to be men. It's pretty fucking cool. And the men, well, shit, they just heal different and faster. Very different than a feminine experience. Hathor, every fucking lifetime I've been here. Working in the sex temples and evolving things on this planet. So the opportunity to do it again, not through the sex temples, but through the sex temple that is me. Hello. Through loving this vessel that is me. Oh shit, yeah, there it is. Through not thinking that I needed to lose weight to be loved, because I thought that for a long time too. Through being able to love all of this exactly as it is. And to now have that reflected back to me. Fucking cool. And what's next? I don't know. I know that I prepped a turkey with some of my best friends last night. I know that I got to hang out with my man this morning to make some sweet love while my daughter hung out downstairs playing Harry Potter. I know that I can find sweetness in every moment, even if I don't know what it is or what's next. So I'm not so concerned about what's next, because if I can find the sweetness in the now, then I can probably find the sweetness in that now too. And I'm not here to write stories. What I can say this next week, oh, holy shit, because in this place of serving through joy, and how do I choose to serve through joy, right? For a long time, for me as priestess, it felt like my service was indentured in some way as priestess. I serve the goddess every lifetime. I serve the goddess every lifetime. I serve the goddess. Don't always have free will. Going to be put where I need to be put. That felt stifling to me. Hard. Lack of free will. So in this creation of Andye Murphy, well, I get to be my own goddess. How do I choose to serve in joy? So this next week, well, hey, I get to go into a family's home and do a couple of healings. I get to talk to a couple of clients who are way across the world doing their own important work. And I get to provide a little bit of witness. And I get to be with a very dear friend and lead her in a mushroom ceremony. So, yes. When the yes arises, I fucking show up for the yeses. And when it's not there, I don't force it. Because I trust me. And I trust that I've always been provided for, taken care of. And I don't even have to trust that. I have a fucking history of that. I can look back. Oh my God. Oh, you know what else I'm going to do today? I'm going to smoke some goddamn weed. Go for a walk. I like that I encourage you guys to smoke weed every time. And you know that I have never done a podcast high. Like, thank you. Except with chronic gals. Hey, ladies. That feels like the venue to do that. But here, no, I still get a little anxious about it. And that's okay. I want you to not be anxious, and I will continue to tend this being over here so that she's not so anxious. I will continue to find the joy in every step of the way, even when the lessons are hard, even when the ego deaths are fucking brutal. They are. And the more we let go, the less brutal they are. And then the more we're letting go of until we're just like, huh. Because I promise you, the things that are yours won't go away. And perhaps in letting go, we allow the things that bring you even more joy to come in faster. Not that time exists, but the new. Nobody's got a rule book. Nobody's got a guidebook. You get to find it within you. Get to feel it within you. And those are not senses that we have been taught to cultivate. And in many, many cases, they are senses that we have been weaponized against within ourselves. So we ask, what does it mean? We go up to the mental. We keep trying to logic our way through things. It's not working anymore. Because you can't really trust your perceptions either, right? Isn't that one of our main teachings in the mystery? You can't trust your perceptions. You can trust your direct experiences, which is why we lead through mystery. You know, every mystery school that I lead, oh, fuck, I want to give you direct experiences of your power, of your magic, of your medicine. I want you to turn something on inside of you. I know, it's where I still get pretty excited. As Beloved and I were getting together, we had one little glitch, and I was like, you know, I fall in love with people all the time. And that's not a threat, because obviously I know how to be monogamous and I know how to be fucking celibate. But in my falling in love with people all the time, my falling in love is like, oh, I see the keys inside of you and I want to play and I want to turn them on. And as I recognize that that is one facet of my falling in love with people, he's like, oh my God, please do that. Cool. So in the witness of Beloved, in partnership, in sacred union, I get to find even more pieces of me and have them reflected back that it's okay, that I'm safe to be me, that the authentic version of me is the best version of me, and more gets to keep coming online. Cool. So I'll be very excited for you to meet him. I think my desire, my hope is that we'll be recording next week, but I felt like we needed a little bit of an update, right? Because I left off at Twin Flame and closing and releasing that, which was a really sweet podcast that might have just been for me. And then we get the fucking beautiful documentary series that is Escaping Twin Flames. And I'm like, whoo, yeah. This girl loves a little bit of culty, people breaking free of cults. So it can be a mind fuck in there, because you can't trust your senses. And you can't trust what anybody outside of you is telling you. You can only trust how it feels in your body, the safety and the relaxation and the truth that it opens up. Ong Sa. Ong Sa. Ong Sa. So I'm in radiant service to Andye Murphy. I am a vessel through which Cosmic Mama gets to move. I tend to myself and my family. And when the opportunity arises to play with you, yes, please. I want to play in the flesh with you. I want to play in the flesh with you. I want to play in the containers of living space with you. Some more retreats, yeah. Some mushroom ceremonies, yeah. There are places that, I don't know, the texture of it feels a little bit different. And not that Zoom hasn't been great, not that online hasn't been great. It's vital and important. But in this new, when our cellular energies begin to come together, well, we create a little bit differently. More, please. More, please. So, however you are celebrating, however you are looking back with gratitude, however you are being asked to surrender, you're not alone in this. Because this world is fucking limitless. It gets bigger and cooler and way wilder and weirder. And have we not even fucking talked, you and me, since aliens have been like confirmed to exist? Oh, David Grouch, hello. Thank you, fine sir. Thank you, sir. Millennial energy coming together to bring a very different vision, conversation, responsibility to this topic. Don't think that everything around you isn't changing, because it is. Changing from inside of you, so that the way that you engage with an ever-changing society is through joy, authenticity, presence, love, cosmic oceans of bliss, exactly as you've been designed. So until next time, my love, or we'll be playing with more of the Divine Masculine. I'll be bringing on some of my favorite fellas to have conversations about where the men are, what they need, and what their healing journey has been like, because I think that's so important. I know it's so important. And if you've got men around you, would you listen to them differently, please? Would you pay attention to where in your fucking head your story on what the masculine is? Let's evolve this first within, so that it can be reflected to us without. Okay, Cosmic Mama signing off. I love you, babe. See you soon.